So let's understand what exactly mean by this and how exactly we can take care about this particular concept. I mean, previously we used to be get take care about in understanding or taking care about in documenting with test cases. Meaning of test cases, what is it? What is it? How to be tested. If I'm taking with test cases, we can mention that or we can consider that how to be tested. At the same time, we can consider that low level design. If I'm taking with the test cases, we can consider that how to be tested and mentioning the low level design. While working these particular test cases, we need to take care about in having entry criteria and then taking care about exit criteria. So while working test cases, we need to take care about that particular entry criteria and taking care about exit criteria. Exit criteria. In that, if I'm taking with entry criteria for the test cases, for the test cases, entry criteria, what is the first document need to refer? Approved, approved test plan. We need to take care about in referring with approved test plan. After that, approved, approved SRS. Taking care about in referring with approved SRS. After that, approved FRS. Taking care about in referring with approved FRS. Okay. After that, what is it? Approved test scenarios. Taking care about in referring with approved test scenarios. After that, what is it? Test case guidelines. After that, test case template. So we need to be get taking care about in referring with all these particular entry criteria and coming up with in preparing or in documenting all the required test cases here. We need to be get documenting all the required test cases by having that particular respective template. If I'm taking with the template, the meaning of the template format. So we need to be get take care about the respective template according to that particular template, taking care about in documenting with all that particular required test cases here. Since that, if I'm taking this particular template, templates are prepared by templates are prepared by templates are prepared by test lead. The test lead has been taking care about the test lead has been taking care about in preparing all that particular respective template here. So once that particular respective template has been provided, that particular test cases are prepared by test cases are prepared by tester. Tester has been taking care about in preparing that particular respective test cases. Okay. So we need to take care about in documenting all the test cases by referring that particular template and by referring that scenarios and by referring that particular requirement document. We need to take care about in referring with requirement document, taking with the template, taking with the test scenarios, and then coming up with documenting with all the test cases. We got understood taking care about in documenting all the required test cases. Now, while documenting these particular test cases, while documenting these particular test cases, all the concepts are okay. Everything followed. Along with all these things, along with all these things, we need to take care about, we need to take care about in followed with some guidelines. We need to take care about in followed with some guidelines here. What exactly that particular guidelines need to be followed? I mean, to take care about effective test case, to take care about the more effective test case, we need to take care about in documenting all that particular required guidelines need to be followed. What exactly that particular guidelines need to be followed? See the understanding. Now we started documenting test cases. When we are documenting the test cases, there is no limit or there is no condition saying that adaptation application 100 test cases, insurance application 200 test cases, banking application 100 test cases. We are not having any kind of limit in saying that taking care about in writing the limited number of test cases. There is no concept of certain condition or certain rule. It depends on tester based on requirement document. Based on requirement document, we need to take care about in coming up with preparing all the test cases. You have to make sure that you need to make sure that you created all the test cases without missing any of the requirement. Without missing any of the requirement, you have to make sure documenting test cases. That means the first thing while preparing the test cases or documenting the test cases, we are not having any limit or we are not having any rule in taking care about preparing the test cases. It can be 50, it can be 100, it can be 1000 based on requirement document. There is no limit, there is no condition in, but the guideline need to be followed. The guideline need to be followed is, let's cross check our test cases. This particular one, how many steps we got? How many steps are there? 6. This is, how many steps we got? 3 steps we got. And this is 5. And this is 8 steps we got. If I'm taking with some other, if we just look into this, now, how many steps we got? 24. So if we just look into these test cases, if we just refer these cases, is that in all the test cases, do we have same number of the steps? Is it in all the test cases, do we have same number of the steps? Yes or no? We return the test cases. if you refer the test cases, is that in all the test cases, do we got the same number of the steps or there? No. In one test case, we got only 5 steps. In some other test case, we got only 3 steps. I mean, it's totally depends on the functionality. It's totally depends on the functionality based on that particular requirement, based on that particular functionality, the number of steps will be varied. Now, here the guideline need to be followed is mentioning that test case steps. See the terminology. What is the terminology it is mentioned? Test case steps, not test cases. Test cases you can write n number of test cases. That doesn't make any problem. But if I'm taking with test case step, that particular test case steps should be, that particular test case step should be maximum of 20. That particular test case step should be maximum of 20. See the understanding? See the understanding. Don't be confused. While writing the test cases, you can write n number of test cases. That doesn't make any problem. You can write n number of test cases. That doesn't make any problem. But while writing test cases, in that particular test cases, the test case step should be, the test cases step should be maximum of 20. I mean, according to the real time or according to that particular test case standards, it is suggestible that to get maintain maximum of 20 step. Minimum, that is okay. But maximum, it is suggested to get maintain 20, not like in providing more than 20 step. Because now we are writing that part okay. But once we complete test cases, after completion of test cases, what is the next activity? Test execution. If you are writing more number of steps, if you are writing more number of steps in one test case, that will become a problem at the time of execution. Because of that, according to real-time standards, according to test case guidelines, it is suggestible that to get maintain maximum of 20 step. You may get in a doubt, sir, according to the functionality, it is mandatory that we have to take care about in writing more than 20 step. According to the test case functionality, it is demanding, it is mandatory, we need to write more than 20 step. Then what need to be done? According to the functionality, if you want to have more than 20 step, you can take care about in writing the 20 step. See the understanding. See the heading. What is the heading you got? What is the heading you got? Test design guidelines. It is not like condition. That is not like in a rule. These are just considering that guidelines only. I mean, to make more effective test cases, to follow real-time standards, you have to take care about in following that particular respective guidelines here. Don't be confuse at all. The whole concept, what I'm trying to explain is while writing test cases, you have to see the possibility, not like writing more than 20 steps. No, sir, functionality demanding, we can write it. But rather than writing, see the possibility in getting dividing into two test cases. Rather than mentioning more number of steps in one test case, you can think about reducing the step, or you can think about making two test cases. Reducing the step, not like you will be deleting the step. Reducing the steps means it's not like you are taking care about deleting the step. How you can take care about in reducing the step. For that, as an example, see this test case, see the test step of 6. What is the sixth step written? What is the sixth step? Select location. Okay. What is the seventh step? Select total. What is the eighth step? Select room type. What is the ninth step? Select number of row. Almost these 4 steps are similar. That 4 steps are similar or not? Yes or no? That 4 steps are similar, taking care about considering that selecting the data. From that particular drop down, you are taking care about in selecting the data. So what we can do is, rather than writing 4 step, we can mention select location. After that, what we can mention? Hotel. After that, room type. After that, number of rooms. But not like giving the comma and giving the list of all the things here. It's need to be more meaningful. When you're writing that step, when you're writing that particular step, it's need to be more meaningful. According to that, you need to take care about in writing. According to that, you have to take care about in writing it. So this is how we have an option taking care about in reducing the step. In case if you are having more number of step, to reduce that particular step, you can just cross check that where you have been written common step, where you can written common step, we can take care about in reducing that particular number of step. So the whole conclusion is, whenever you are writing test cases, that particular test case step should be maximum of 20. That is what suggestible, but not like in a rule, not like in a condition. To make more effective test cases and to make more real time, we need to take care about in following that particular guideline. Similar to that, taking care about one more guideline. Let's look into that. Make a note of all these things. Just write with the heading. What is the heading you written? Test design guidelines. Under that, write with the first one. Test case step should be maximum of 20. Test case step should be maximum of 20. All the online students also. All the online students also, please take care about it. Now, take the second one. Take the second one, mentioning that avoid in writing. Avoid in writing. Duplicate test cases. Duplicate test cases or considering that duplicate test steps. Avoid in writing, avoid in writing, duplicate test cases, avoid in writing, duplicate test cases, or considering that duplicate test steps here. So you need to take care about, you need to take care about in following these particular guideline. You have to take care about in following with this particular guideline, mentioning that avoid in writing duplicate test cases, or we can consider that duplicate test step. What exactly mean by this? What is the meaning of this particular statement? What exactly the meaning of this particular statement? Let's see that, see the understanding. Now we are taking care about in writing the test cases. That part perfectly okay. Now assume that you got an assignment related to the test cases. How many test cases you have to create? How many test cases you have to create? 100. You have to take care about in creating with 100 test cases. You may decided like, you may deciding that every day Suresh sir is asking that to write more than 100 test cases. For that, you may try with BTech talent, copying one test case, pasting for 100 times and saying that 200 test cases completed. It's not like Suresh sir is asking for writing 100 test cases means just writing one test case and repeating for 100 times and saying that 100 test case completed. It's not like you need to repeating same step. It's not like you are repeating with the same step. Always the test cases should be different. What exactly you are trying to test it? What exactly you are trying to test it? That particular test case, it should be different, not like repeating the same test case, not like repeating the same test case for multiple time. So you have to take care about, you need to take care about in writing. You need to take care about in writing that particular unique test cases. That particular test cases should be different. In the same way, in the same way, let's take care about our test case one. What is the first step? What is the first step? Launch browser. Second step, enter URL. After that, enter valid username. After that, enter valid password. After that, click on login button. Now, totally how many steps we got? How many steps we got? 5 steps. Perfectly okay. This test case, perfectly okay. Now, let's cross check that. Let's cross check that this particular test case. If I'm taking with this particular test case, you can see that. Let's take care about these 5 steps. What is the first step? Launch browser. Second step, enter URL. After that, enter username. After that, enter password. After that, click on login button. Now you can compare with our test case 1. In the test case 1, what exactly the 5 steps has been written, and these 5 steps, is there any difference on that? In the test case 1, what exactly the 5 steps were written, and in this test case, these particular 5 steps, is there any difference? Any difference? No difference. What we written in the test case 1, as it is, we are taking care about same steps here. Because of that, not like mandatory, we have to take care about in repeating the same 5 step. Rather than writing 5 step, rather than writing 5 step, what we can write? What we can write? Login into application. Rather than writing 5 step in simple, we can write login into application. Not like mandatory that, need to take care about writing the 5 step. In simple, we can mention that login into application, because we are already maintain one dedicated test case. If that is not available, you have to write in the detail. As already available, not like mandatory that need to write repeating the same step. But you may get in a doubt. Sir, till yesterday, you told that to write each and every step in a very detail. And today, you are saying that not required to write. Don't be confused here. As a tester, always it is suggestible to write each and every particular step in a very detail. That is a very good practice. That is a very good practice in the initial stages. Once he got comfortable in writing the test cases, once he got comfortable in writing the test cases, then it can take care about in utilizing these kind of options. Because of that, first I told that you have to take the practice in writing each and every particular step in a very detail. That is what the very good practice need to be done. So please take care about that practice. Along with that, you can try in having these guidelines also. That is what you are taking care about. Second one. What is the first one? Test case step should be maximum of 20. What is the second one? Avoid in writing duplicate test cases or duplicate test step. Third one, very most important one. Third one, very most important one. What is that? What is that most important one? As we guys are already knowing it, that most important one is what is it? Spell mistakes. You have to take care about. You need to take care about that spellings. You need to take care about that particular respective spellings here, because you are taking care about writing the test cases. Is that you are writing the test cases in Word file or Excel file? Word file or Excel file? Is that you are writing the test cases in Word file or Excel file? Excel file. You are taking care about writing the test cases in Excel file, not like Word file. In case you are taking care about Word file, in case of you are taking care about Word file, in case of any spelling mistake, you will be able to see that red color. Yes or no? In the Word file, you will be able to see that red color and you will be able to see that blue color also. Yes or no? Meaning of red color? Spell mistake. Meaning of blue color? Uh-huh. In the Word file. You never tried with Word file. Huh? So when you're working with the Word file, red color means spelling mistake, then you will get red color. When you will get blue color, that sentence, nothing but grammar, that particular sentence or grammar, you will be able to have that particular blue color. In case of Word file, you got an option of red color and you got an option of blue color. But while working Excel file, what is the color you will get? What is the color you will get? Only black color. No concept of red color and no concept of blue color. Only black color will be there. In case of any spelling mistakes are there, automatically you can't get that red color. Because of that, you need to be very careful while writing test cases in Excel. Whenever you are writing the test cases in Excel, you need to be very careful about the spelling. That is what the clear example I got. While writing that button in a place of B, if you mention M, what it will become? Button will become a mutton here, right? In the testing, you are not doing any mutton, chicken or a fish or anything here. No concept of all those things. Because of that, you need to be very careful while writing the test cases in Excel file. Whenever you are writing the test cases, to make more effective test cases, to make that real time, you have to take care about that spell mistakes also. Considering that test cases step should be maximum of 20. And after that, avoid in writing duplicate test cases or test step. After that, taking care about spell mistake. And the finally, the very most important. What is it? The very most important one. Shortcuts. Okay. Apart from that, format. Okay. Still. Now, assume that you're taking care about writing the test cases. Perfectly okay. Who has to write the test cases? Who has to write the test cases? Test cases created by tester. After test cases, what is the next activity? Test execution. The test execution done by test execution done by tester or test lead? Test scenarios done by tester. Test cases done by tester. Test execution done by tester. That part clear. Okay. See the understanding now. Test cases created by tester. Test execution done by tester. Same tester, different tester. Quality tester. Is that same tester or different tester. I mean, assume that you written the test cases. Just assume that you are working in the project, you are working in the real time, you are working on the testing, you got in a project, you created the test cases. Is that you will execute the test cases or other team member will execute? Other team member. No, same person. Same person or other person? Same person or other person? Online students. All the online students need to be active. I'm getting very less response from the online. Is that same person will execute or other person will execute? Same person. Not other person. That is okay. My question is, testing team is there. Assume that 6 members of team is there. In the 6 members of the team, now all the 6 members according to the test plan, everyone completed writing the test cases. Now is that same person taking care about executing the same test cases or other person will execute the test cases? Okay, that will get the clear picture on that. Don't be worried about on that. In simple, it's not like same person, not like different person. It depends on the test lead. It will depends on the test lead. Test lead has to take care about that particular plan. What is mean by that? In detail, you will understand in tomorrow. But for today, see the concept. Just assume that you are working in the real time. You are working on the project. You done the activity of test cases. Test cases completed. After completion of the test cases, you need to start with test execution. Now, by the time of test execution, what your manager has been done is, you done the test cases. That part completed. Next, you need to start with test execution. By the time of test execution, what manager has been done is, he has been moved you into another project. Chances will be there. Is that he will get retired in the same project in the IT companies? Is that he will work only one project? No. It's not like you will take care about only one project and they will get retired in same project. It's totally depends on the managers. It's totally depends on the managers based on their comfortable, they will take care about in moving into different project. Now see the understanding here. By the time of getting started test execution, you have been moved into another project. In a place of your role, another new member joined in the project. See the understanding. You done the test cases. After that, you need to start test execution. At the time of started test execution, you have been moved into another project. New member joined in the project. That new member is that he will start from writing the test cases or he will start test execution. New member will start the test cases or he will start the test execution. Test cases or test execution? Test execution, because test cases already available. As test cases are already available, he will take care about in getting started test execution. Now, he started the execution. While starting the execution, he was referring the step. Is that person written the test cases? No. You guys written the test steps. You guys are very intelligent. You written the test cases, which has been understanding by only you only, not other person. That great talent you done there here. All the test steps what you written, that steps can be understandable by only you. Other person not able to understand the step. In that way, you written the test cases here. Now, new person need to execute. He need to execute the test cases. He was referring the step but not able to understand the steps. Then, as he was not able to understand the steps, what he has to do? Uh, what he has to do? Again, he will write. He will be writing it. When he was writing, he shown his talent, understanding by him only. Again, new person came. Then, colleagues also, they are not able to understand that great talent you have. Uh, uh, Now, what will happen is, in case you done in that way, the new person also be take only too intelligent here. What he will be doing is, according to your test case template, you got one column name. What is the column name? Created by the new person. He will see that who is that great person written the test cases. He will look into that name here. Name will be there. He will copy that name. He will open the employee directory. Then he will get the mobile number. And then he will make a call to that number. Boss, you written the test cases very perfectly done. Not able to understand single step also. Please explain what are the steps you written. So these kind of rework will be there. If we written in that way, that is a lot of rework because only one person is understanding, other persons are not able to understand. That will create in a lot of rework, that will create in a lot of issues here. Because of that, to avoid all these issues, what need to be done? What need to be done? When you writing the test cases, that particular test case should be easy, understandable. Easy, understandable. I mean, the way of the steps you written, the way of the terminologies you have got provided, it's need to be understandable by each and every person. In that way, you have to take care about. In that way, you need to take care about in following all that particular guidelines here. Right. See that this is what you need to take care about in following with the guidelines at the time of writing the test cases. Not like only these things, we got other things also, but mainly while writing the test cases, you have to take care about in following with all these particular guidelines. Just take care about in following with all these guidelines. At the time of writing with the test cases, make sure that you followed all these guidelines. According to that, you need to take care about in writing all that particular test cases. This is what you have to take care about the concept of test cases. So what is the meaning of test cases? Meaning of test cases. how to be tested. You have to follow the entry criteria and taking care about that particular design guidelines, and then you have to come up with in documenting with all the test cases. At any cost, you need to take care about in doing with more practice in writing the test cases. In the interview, definitely you can get with the different type of questions related to the test scenarios, related to the test cases. As an example of test cases, how you can expect the question. Some question very straightforward. They will ask you that explain your test case template. What is the question? Explain test case template. The one common question they may ask you that explain your test case template. Another question they will ask you that what are the test cases you created in the project? What are the test cases you created in the project? Like in the resume, you will be mentioning that you done the project. When you mention that you done with the project, they will ask you that what are the test cases you created for the project. Apart from that, they may come up with in asking that giving some requirement. They will explain one requirement. According to that requirement, they will be asking that in providing test cases. First, they will give you one requirement. According to that requirement, they will be asking that to explain the test cases or to write the test cases. Then you need to be comfortable in explaining the interviewer how we can write different type of combinations of test cases. As an example, just an example, see the requirement. Just an example, see the requirement. Interviewer can be asking the question by giving the requirement to test the functionality, of age text box. Which text box? Age text box. Interviewer is asking the question in saying that in simple, the question he was asking is in saying that he is asking the question in mentioning there is a age text box which is accepting only numbers. What is it? Only numbers. That particular text box is accepting only numbers. That numbers also started from 0 or 1. Age will start from 0 or 1. Age will start from 0 or 1. 1. 0. Yeah. Online students. Age will start from 0 or 1 or both or none of the above. It will start from 0. 0 or 1, guys? 1. 0. Okay. In simple, did you guys heard about anywhere any person is saying that this baby is having 0 days? Did you heard it? Age will start from 1. 1 to your expectations. Your expectations, how many years? 70, yeah? 70 years more enough. Okay. For your satisfaction, we'll go with 100 years here. No, not satisfied. 100 plus. Uh-huh. Ah, okay. Anyway, we'll go with 100. See the requirement now. Interviewer is asking the question saying that there is a requirement of age text box which is accepting only numbers of 1 to 100. That is the requirement. You have to test that requirement. Now interviewer will ask how you can test that requirement. So how you will test that? What is that? Only that part enough? Uh-huh. Got the concept or not? As simple as you have a text box. Which text box? Age text box. Accepting the numbers of 1 to 100. So you have to confirm that you need to test that. You need to test that that particular age text box is working correctly by accepting the numbers of 1 to 100. So you want to test this functionality. So to test this functionality, one option we can try. First, we will enter one, see that working or not, entering the two, working or not, entering the three, working or not, entering each and every number and testing it. But is it possible to do that kind of testing? Is it possible to test each and every number and then testing that working or not? No, which is not like very easy to test that functionality by entering each and every number, each and every value. Because of that, to take care about in testing these kind of functionality, to take care about in testing these kind of functionality, we need to take care about in following with some design techniques. We have to take care about in following with some particular design techniques. Previously, you written the heading. What is the heading? Test design guidelines. Along with that, to take care about in testing these kind of functionalities, we can take care about in utilizing test design techniques here. So with the help of that techniques, we can take care about to test that kind of functionalities. So let's understand, take care about writing the new heading. Take the new heading, mention the test case design techniques. Write with the new heading. Write with the new heading. Mention the test case design techniques under the black box, white box. Under black box, that techniques. Under white box, that particular techniques. All the online students also, please take care about it. Just make a note of that particular techniques up to that particular highlighted one. All the online students also, please take care about up to that particular highlighted one. Mention the test case design techniques. Mention the test case design techniques here, taking care about in mentioning the black box technique and taking with white box technique here, and then taking with mentioning the in having this particular step that will be taking with mentioning about black box techniques and taking with white box techniques. All the online students also make a note of up to that particular highlighted one. Just make a note of up to that particular highlighted one. All the online students also. All the online students also, please make a note of up to that particular highlighted one. Make a note of both the things. Mention that black box techniques up to that one, and then white box techniques, that particular options. Make a note of up to that highlighted one. Done? Okay, right. So let's understand what exactly mean by these techniques, how we can take care about it. In that we got white box technique, nothing but white box testing. Meaning of the white box testing, testing done by developer related to code level. That particular white box testing, we can mention the testing done by developer related to code level. That part we are not worried about on it. Mainly, we need to take care about with the respective of black box here. I mean, taking care about that particular black box technique in that most of the time, definitely you can expect the interview questions related to that particular ECP and taking with BVA. Very regularly, you can expect with the question related to that particular ECP and taking with BVA. So let's understand what exactly mean by that and how we can implement. Now, to take care about in testing these kind of functionalities, we can apply that particular technique. In that one, we can take care about ECP. What is the full form of ECP? Full form of ECP: equivalence class partitioning. I mean, the meaning of this particular statement. Whenever you are taking care about this ECP, you are looking into the required data to be used. As part of the technique of ECP, as part of the technique of ECP, you are taking care about in utilizing the required data for the purpose of testing activity. That means what exactly the data you want to test it. What exactly the data you want to test it, you are taking care about in dividing into valid data and taking with invalid data. See the meaning of ECP. What is the meaning of ECP? Equivalence class partitioning. Meaning of partitioning? Dividing. The meaning of partitioning, dividing. You are taking care about in dividing into two different type of data, mentioning the valid data and taking care about invalid data. According to the requirement, what is the data it has to accept? What it has to accept? Numbers, that numbers of 1 to 100. It has to take care about in accepting the numbers of 1 to 100. That is what the valid data. That means what it will do is it will take care about in testing this particular text box by providing any of the number in between of 1 to 100, and it will test that is that working correctly or not. From 1 to 100, it will take care about any of the number and it will test that working correctly or not. In the same way, you got another group, invalid. So if I'm taking with invalid, what kind of data is invalid? No, taking with characters and then taking with symbols, and you will be taking with special symbols, and then you will be taking with number names here. This kind of data is invalid. So whenever you are taking with the testing, whenever you are taking with the testing, how you will take care about, how we will take care about in testing is, first we will test with the data of any number in between of 1 to 100, and we will see that it is working correctly or not. After that, you will take care about invalid data. You will enter the characters and you will cross check that proper error message has been displaying or not. And you will enter symbols and you will test that proper error message has been displaying or not. Special symbols, number name, all these are invalid data. That means the functionality what you want to test it, because of that ECP, you divided into two things here. One you are taking with valid data and another one you are taking with invalid data. So the technique of ECP, the technique of ECP is related to with the respect of data. The technique of ECP is related to with the respective of data. In the same way, you got in a technique of BVA. Meaning of BVA? Meaning of BVA? Boundary value analysis. That means it will test the same requirement. It will test the same requirement with the help of boundary values. It will test the same requirement with the help of boundary values by applying the formula of taking with minimum values and taking with maximum values and taking with minimum minus 1 and taking with maximum plus 1. So whenever you are taking with BVA, that particular BVA, you are testing the same requirement with the help of boundaries here. As part of ECP, you are taking care about with the help of data. This BVA, you are testing with the help of boundaries here. That formula you are applying minimum, maximum, minimum minus 1, maximum plus 1. So we'll take care about in providing minimum 1, maximum 100, minimum minus 1, 0, that maximum plus 1, 101. So we'll enter that boundary values and will test that particular functionality working or not. So you have to take care about, you need to take care about in doing the practice of, you have to take care about in doing the practice of writing these kind of test cases also. You have to take care about, you need to take care about in writing test cases related to that particular ECP and related to that DVA. But if you want to write test cases for this technique, if you want to write test cases for these techniques, you need to aware of that. You need to aware of that. What is the valid data and what is the invalid data? What are the boundaries? This information need to be get provided in the requirement document. According to the real time, most of the time, these techniques you will be applicable for text boxes. Most of the time, these techniques you can apply for text boxes. For example, in our login page, what are the text boxes we got? Username and password. In the login page, we got username text box, we got password text box. But related to that particular username and related to password, what kind of data, what are the minimum, what are the maximum values? Is that information provided in the requirement document? If you refer our requirement document, in our requirement document, do we have that requirement? No. Originally, according to the real time, that information also provided in requirement document, but not like all the requirements you will get in One single shot. First you will get some requirement. You need to complete on that. Once you complete, the client will be ready with some other requirement. But for the time being, you can come up with your own requirement for the practice purpose. Writing the test cases related to these techniques. Writing the test cases related to these particular techniques, you have to take care about. You have to take care about. You can have your own requirement, and then you can come up with writing the test cases. Don't be confused. You are writing test cases by referring that requirement document. To have more number of test cases, you have to come up with in writing some test cases related to the technique of ECP and BVA. For example, go with the login page. In the login page, what are the text boxes we got? Username text box, password text box. That username text box, assume that it has to accept characters of minimum 5 and maximum 10. Just you can have your own requirement. You can have your own requirement. According to that, you can come up with writing the test cases related to ECP and related to BVA. As an example, how we can write. What is the text box we got? Username. What are the minimum characters? 5. Maximum 10. Let's see how we can write. Taking care about test case here. As usual, considering that launch browser, enter URL, and then taking care about verify ECP for username. Verify ECP for username. Meaning of ECP? Meaning of ECP? Equivalence class partitioning. With the ECP is related to data. ECP is related to data. First we will take care about enter that particular valid, considering that characters. Characters are valid, taking with 3.2. I will take care about enter numbers. What are the invalid? Symbol, special symbol, or taking with special characters. Numbers we are already provided. Numbers, symbols, special characters. These things are invalid. One is valid data, another one invalid data. Okay. You can mention that enter username. Enter username with characters. Mention enter username with numbers, symbols, special characters. Okay. And then taking that particular fourth step, enter password, and fifth step, you will take care about click on login button. Click on that particular login button. Now, see that test data. What is the test data? URL, and taking care about username, and taking care about password. Expected result 3.1. What is the step of 3.1? Enter username with characters. That's need to be get accepted. Because of that, you will mention that user entered data. User entered data should be. Oh, user entered data should be accepted. What exactly that characters need to be accepted? 3.2. What is expected, is it? In simple, we can say that error message should be displayed. Error message should be displayed. The 3.1, you are entering the characters. Valid, it has to be accepted. 3.2, you are entering invalid, it has to take care about in giving with error message. This is how you have to come up with writing the test cases related to ECP. In the same way, we can take care about 57, considering that test case, mentioning that launch browser. After that, mentioning that enter URL. After that, taking the third step, mentioning that verify BVA for username. We need to take care about in verify BVA for username. Again, 3.1. Enter minimum and maximum values. Enter minimum and maximum values. 3.2. 3.2. Enter minimum -1 and taking with maximum +1. We need to enter minimum -1, maximum +1, taking with enter. This is so this is enter password, and fifth step, taking with click on login button. Click on login button. Test data as usual. URL, taking care about username and taking care about password. Expected result, the same thing will be continued. 3.1, considering that user entered data should be accepted. 3.2, error message should be displayed. So this is how you have to take care about. This is how you need to take care about in writing the test cases. Don't be confused at all. According to the real-time standards, what are all valid data, invalid data, minimum values, maximum values? All those things need to be provided in the requirement document. If it is provided in the requirement document, then only we can write that particular test cases. But for now, for the time being, that information is not provided in the requirement document. Because of that, you can take care about your own requirement according to your comfortable. You can take care about your own requirement according to your comfortable, and take the practice of writing the test cases related to ECP and related to BVA. As simple as you need to comfortable in writing more number of the test cases. Along with that, you have to take care about in writing the test cases related to ECP and related to BVA. So try for that. Make sure that you are completing these two techniques here. These two will be very most important. Most of the time, you can expect the interview questions related to these two techniques. Along with that, we got two more. What are the two more? State transition, decision table. Related to that, you're already written the test cases. What are the test cases? That I will be explaining. Those are very small things that you will understand. So with that, the conclusion you have to take care about in writing all the test cases. So by tomorrow, be ready with your test case document. By tomorrow, be ready with all your test case document. Once your test cases are there, based on that particular test cases, we can take care about test execution. All your test case need to be ready. Without having the test cases, we can't go with execution. Without having the test cases, we can't go with the execution. So please make sure that ready with all the test cases. Try for maximum test cases. By that, you can come up with identifying more number of bugs also. The main target of tester to identify the bugs. These are okay, but along with these things, you have to come up with identifying more number of bugs. If you want to identify more number of bugs, you have to execute more number of test case. To execute more number of test case, first we need to write more number of test cases. So because of that, spend with the time in writing more number of test cases. Be ready by tomorrow. By that, tomorrow we'll go with the test execution and will take care about bug reporting. Another most important concept that will take care about in the tomorrow session. After that, test execution, bug reporting. After that, your test closure. But before